Alright, welcome back to Freshwater Scrubs, and as you might know, we have past 10 subscribers. Yay! Well, even though it's mostly my family member or my friends who subscribe, well, I think I reckon I got a few real subscribers, but it's still a little milestone in my YouTube career. So yeah, and I'm trying to do this rapid upload schedule that I basically upload one small tip for fish keeping every day. And today we're gonna to go into another aspect of tip. This new episode of tips for fish keeping, and today we're gonna talk about one of the topics that, well, many new fish keepers get stumped on this one because, well, we're talking about patience, and patience is a very big part in fish keeping, as fish keeping is not a hobby that you can, rush through the process to get ready. It's a this process that you have to take your time, and so you can succeed, because if you rush the process you tend to make mistakes, and it will be very bad for your fish and you. One of the things that new fish keepers tend to, well, ignore or just didn't research enough about is the cycling of the tank and the preparation you need to go through before you get the fish. Now, this is even more important than, well, how you maintain the tank after you get the fish, as it basically set up this basis that will, well, if you get, just be ready and then you will succeed. For example, the cycling process of the tank, which is the nitrogen cycle, which involves letting the bacteria culture in your tank develop before you introduce the fish. And this is very important, as this is the only way that your tank can handle your fish's waste. And if you don't do this process correctly, there wouldn't be enough beneficial bacteria in your aquarium, and, well, you'll end up in a very nasty situation, and your fish will probably die and get poisoned by its own poo, so that's not good. You can cycle a tank in its, well, the classical way, I should say, which is just maybe just putting some fish food in and let it rot and release ammonia, which is good when you don't have a fish, because the bacteria that, well, that's what bacteria eat, and they would consume it, and they will multiply, and they will get even bigger, and then so basically you have to, in this time, you have to monitor the ammonia, nitrite, and nitrate level, and then so you know when the tank is ready, when the ammonia level drops and nitrate level rises, and finally, when your tank is ready for fish, the nitrite level will drop and the nitrate level will rises. And nitrate is the chemical that can, in fact, be removed from the water via water changes. So at that point, you have this system of bacteria that is ready to handle your fish's waste. But if you're like me and like to speed up the process, you can use these artificial bacteria colony. Now focus. Yeah, this, you can get them in from many different brands and stuff. They basically is a pre-bred, like lab bred beneficial bacteria, and they can speed up the process by introducing readily available bacteria into your tank. And do not forget that to always add water conditioners when you change water, because tap water contains chlorine, and that kills off all of our friendly, beneficial bacteria friends. And so that's a really good thing to remember. And now cycling the tank before introducing the fish is only one of many things in fish keeping that involves patience. For example, you have to acclimate your fish so they adapt to the so when you buy a new fish and you take it home with a bag, you can't just dump it right in because just imagine like jumping into a very cold pool. That's what the fish will feel when you introduce it into a completely new environment with different water parameters, temperature, and everything. So that will shock the fish, and it's not good for them. So always acclimate your fish by either putting the bag, like floating the bag in your tank for a while and let the fish, the water in the bag adjust to the level in your tank. Or you can, for some more sensitive fish, you can get a bucket and put them in, release the water in there and slowly drip the water from your tank into the water that the fish is in so it can slowly get used to the different water parameters that is in your tank. And I think this will be it for today. And for all of you just starting fish keeping, remember today's lesson, I suppose. And have a good day. And don't forget to subscribe and like. And yeah, goodbye.